Hey, what's up, fam? Kentriarch here. Thank you so incredibly much for tuning in for another Destiny 2 video. Today, we'll be diving into what is coming in Season 13 or Season of the Chosen. Seasonal challenges, sandbox changes, reworked weapons, and much, much more. There's a lot of good stuff on the way, so let's get to it.
The darkness crowds the edges of this system. The Hive serves it. You'll fall to one, if not the other. I propose an alliance. With my army and your light, the Cabal will crush the Hive. Bow.
No.
Okay, typical Zavala. All right, we have quite a bit of content coming our way, so I'm going to run through this in the same order as the TWABs. First up, we have the TWAB from January 14th, and Bungie started it off with the reissuing of weapons and armor from the Dreaming City and the Moon. This was met with a lot of backlash, and I get it. Bungie just came back from their vacation, and the first thing they talk about is reissuing weapons and armor that we've already had and grinded for in the past. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of taking Bungie's side on this. And the reason being is exactly for what they said here. We are making these changes to help preserve the relevancy of the destinations, specifically some of the pinnacle end game activities that still exist there. Do I think it's what people want? No. Do I think it's a priority? Not really. But do I get it? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Now, what exactly is being reissued? Well, we have all of the armor from the two destinations, as well as 4 weapons from Dreaming City and 4 weapons from the Moon. The 4 weapons from the Dreaming City are Waking Vigil, Sleepless, Vouchsafe, and Retold Tale. The 4 weapons from the Moon are Premonition, exclusively through Pit of Heresy, Heretic, Blasphemer, and Apostate. It is important to mention that all of these weapons, if done through the Shattered Throne or the Pit of Heresy, will roll with perks that are unavailable from drops from other reward sources. Next up in the TWAB, we have the new rank system for each of the 3 core vendors. Before we get into that, people want new weapons? Here you go. They will be adding 2 unique weapon rewards to each of the 3 playlist rituals. That is 6 in total, and we will dive into that more later. We actually see those in the trailer and in the final TWAB. But here we go, the new rank up system, which I am actually really, really excited for. Starting in Season 13 for Gambit and Crucible, and in a future season for Strikes, rank rewards will be visible on the ritual vendors. Each season, you'll be greeted by a row of rewards, progression towards which will be earned automatically as you complete relevant playlist activities. I love this. It's kind of like how the Crucible works, where you get to, rank up and earn that glory. But in this system, you get to see your progression and you get to see what you're progressing towards. It gives you a list of what the upcoming rewards are. The progression is on a per ritual basis, so you can be rank, 8 in Crucible and then rank 6 in Gambit, and you reset your rank right at the vendor by picking up that final reward. Now, certain ranks are better than others. So at rank 4, you get 3 upgrade modules. Rank 7 is 3 enhancement cores. Rank 10 is a seasonal ritual shader. Rank 13 is 2 enhancement prisms. Rank 16 is seasonal ritual emblem, and the final reset reward will be an ascendant shard. You can only earn one of those. After you reset and work your way back up, it will be changing to an exotic engram. Now, every rank up rewards a base ritual engram just like before. So, rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. And then additionally, each of the above ranks, 4, 7, 10, will also reward a prime ritual engram. With this new system coming into play, that also means that Crucible tokens will no longer be needed. So they'll be depreciated into junk and deleted as a full stack starting in Season 13. So if you have any left or have any built up, make sure you use them up before the end of the season. And that wraps up that week's TWAB. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you out. Moving on, the next TWAB came a week later, and their first note on there was what activities are going to be sticking around until the end of year four, and what activities will be leaving at the end of the season. Now, some main ones that are sticking around will be Wrathborn Hunts, the Adored Sniper Rifle quest, the Crow's Vendor Screen on the Tangled Shore will still be there. Hawkmoon Exotic Quest and the Seasonal Seal slash Warden title. The activities that'll be going away at the end of this season will be Crow's Bounties, Messages from the Field, the Seasonal Artifact, and the Season Pass, with those last two not being very surprising. The next thing they dove into is something that's being reissued, but it was so well received by the community that they decided to bring it back. And I'm really excited about this, and it is Umbral Engrams. And what these do is they allow you to focus your rewards towards the type of weapons and armor rolls that you desire. Now, these can be earned in the new seasonal activity, but they can also be earned in other activities as well in a variety of content. And that's patrols, strikes, crucible, the ordeal, public events, blind well, exo challenges, empire hunts. And it is important to note, though, that we are not going to see them rain down like we did in season 11. The drop rates were too high, and they have rebalanced that. So you're still going to get them, but not quite like they were in season 11. And with Umbral Engrams, obviously comes a Prismatic Recaster, which is the kiosk that allows you to change those engrams into the focused engrams. And that gives you a smaller loot table. Now, I love what they say next, and that is because Umbral Engrams are here to stay, which means that they're not going to go away after the season's over or anytime soon. And now, each different season will have different pages, and you'll be able to focus engrams to the season of your choice. And this is all stuff that we know and we have dealt with in season 11, but in season 13 when they reissue this, they are now going to have prismatic lenses. And these will be things that you can earn by doing various activities in the game, and you can track that progress at the Prismatic Recaster. This is all Bungie had to say about them bringing back Umbra Engrams and that Prismatic Recaster. But this was well received before, and I think it's going to be well received again. They give us a couple more things to chase with those lenses. And I don't know about you guys, but I have terrible RNG, and I'm really excited for this to be back. So that way I can, at least kind of focus more towards what I need for my build. Next up, we have another new feature, Gilded Titles. So, what is a gilded title? Now, if a player has completed the seal for one of the core ritual titles, Unbroken, Dredgen, Flawless, or Conqueror, players will have a series of additional seasonal objectives to gild that title. What does gilding do? It gives you a new border around the seal in the Triumph UI, a pip tracking how many times in your career that you've gilded a given title, and a new color and symbol for the title over your head. So if you're into doing the trials, and the seals and the getting those titles that are associated with them and showing that off, this will be for you. Now, what will happen to this once the season is over? Well, your gilded title will go back to its typical purple coloring of that base title, and then all of those gilded objectives will reset and actually change to fit the unique experiences of that given season. I think this is a great addition to an already awesome system we have with titles. And on that note, that wraps up that TWAB. Moving on to the next one, the first thing that Destiny dives into is probably one of the things that I am most excited for coming in season 13, and that is seasonal challenges. The easiest way that I can explain what these are is if you ever played Fortnite, back about a year ago, before they kind of went to that new system, they used to have challenges that would come out on a weekly basis. And then you could do those challenges. And then on the next week, the next set of challenges would come out, and that would increase your seasonal pass. That is what is being implemented here. And the reason that Destiny and Bungie is doing this is to try to get rid of FOMO or fear of missing out. And I am 100% for this. I don't get a whole lot of time to play. I have a wife, 4 kids, full time job, and it's really hard to keep up with bounties every single day to earn that XP to increase your seasonal pass ranks and your seasonal artifact. Well, this is Bungie's solution to that. And here is how Bungie says it's going to work. Every week for the first 10 weeks of a season, between 3 and 10 new challenges appear automatically for the players. Some of the challenges deal with seasonal content, others push, the core playlists. Some of it even focuses on non activity, like gaining power, unlocking seasonal artifact mods, or improving guns and armor. These challenges can only be completed once per account, but once they become available, these challenges can be completed at any time before the end of the season and do not need to be started or picked up from a vendor. As an example, if a player doesn't play for weeks 2 through 4, they can return on week 5 and have all those challenges waiting for them. Completing each challenge awards XP, contributing to your season pass ranks. Other rewards could be bright dust, seasonal currency, or other interesting items. So, bounties out, seasonal challenges in, and Bungie, thank you so much. I loved the system in Fortnite, was upset when they got rid of it. Now Destiny's doing it, and I am on board. Next up, we have Sandbox Changes, and the first one on the list is in preparation for crossplay, and they are targeting keyboard and mouse users. Currently, several weapon archetypes have their recoil reduced by around 40%. This is also an issue where players on mouse and keyboard are able to largely ignore the stability weapon stat, creating unintended discrepancies of weapon performance between controllers and mouse and keyboard. So what they are going to do is they are going to adjust that recoil pattern for the following weapon archetypes: auto rifle, scout rifle, pulse rifle, submachine gun, hand cannon, and machine gun. They will be buffing the submachine gun, pulse rifles, and machine guns as far as their camera movement. So submachine guns, they're going to reduce the camera movement by 24%. Pulse rifles are going to reduce the camera movement by 7%, and machine guns are going to reduce the camera movement by 9.5%. Next up on the list is rocket launchers, which are getting a 30% damage increase across the board. However, exotic rocket launchers have been adjusted individually and are affected by this change to different degrees, which I'm assuming is probably for Eyes of Tomorrow, which would be outrageous with that 30% increase. Bungie goes on to say that paired with the buffs to reserves from last season, they are hoping that we will explode many more things in season 13. And from all of us, Bungie, so do we. I'd love to see rocket launchers just get back up there and compete with the current meta. The next two items on this list here have to do with fusion rifles and breach grenade launchers. Fusion rifles are going to get a increase on their damage fall off and their camera movement, and then the breach grenade launcher is going to get a buff as far as when their projectiles detonate. So now, if they hit a character, they will explode even if you're still holding the trigger, which will be a nice add to that weapon. The last sandbox change Bungie has for us has to do with nerfs to sniper rifles and swords. Sniper rifles are just going to get an increased ADS flinch when taking damage from other players, which will kind of help us getting sniped if you actually can initiate an attack on somebody using a sniper rifle. The swords are going to have their sword damage reduced by 15%. I'm hoping that's not going to be too much. I mean, swords kind of have that risk involved. You have to get close, you have to be able to take damage, and so that damage that they give out kind of helps handle the risk taking by using it. Bungie goes on to finish up the current TWAB we are talking about by having a comment about Crimson Days. They basically said that after some deliberation, they have made the decision to discontinue it moving forward. Some of you might be upset by that. I honestly am not going to miss it. So let's move on to the final TWAB before the expansion that came out on February 4th. First thing they give us in this TWAB is, of course, the Season of the Chosen trailer. If you haven't seen that yet, you can go check it out. It's on their page. They follow that up with the roadmap for season 13. And then first on the list is Spoils of War. And this is basically where they remind us that they are bringing back three weapons from Destiny 1: the Swarm, Palindrome, and Shadow Price. These will be rewards for completing Nightfall the Ordeal, and there will also be adept versions of these weapons for completing it on Grandmaster difficulty. They will be giving us another pursuit weapon, kind of the same way Adored worked for that sniper rifle. You get to choose a quest line either between Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit as a way to earn this new weapon, and that is going to be a breach loaded grenade launcher called Salvager's Salvo. We don't know too much about this weapon yet. But they do go on to note that we will actually be able to earn three different ornaments for this weapon by picking up additional quests from Zavala, Lord Shax, and the Drifter. Next up, we have finally some content for Trials of Osiris. They posted an image of the three weapons they're bringing to Trials: a pulse rifle, a kind of a minimalistic hand cannon, and a caster frame sword. The pulse rifle seems to be a rendition of the Messenger from Destiny 1. And then we are also getting some new armor along with that. And I think Bungie did a fantastic job on the aesthetics of this armor. And then not only are we getting weapons and armor, but we are also getting a new ship, a new sparrow, and a new ghost. Your chances at getting the ghost will go up as you win matches at 3, 5, and 7 wins. And then the ship and sparrow drop chances will increase every time you go flawless. People wanted more weapons. Well, Bungie's delivering more weapons. In Season of the Chosen, they're going to be adding six more to the loot table. We have a hand cannon, a sniper rifle, a rocket launcher, bow, what looks to be a trace rifle, and a new SMG. Next up on the list, we have a redesign of the Aeon suite of exotics. This is what Bungie had to say about this. In redesigning the Aeon Cult exotic armor pieces, we wanted to lean hard into the idea that these are the exotics you and your fire team wear when you really want to work together as a team. With that in mind, we had three main goals for the revamped mechanics: create role based mechanics that reward you for doing the things that your role is supposed to be good at, create mechanics that reward other players on your fire team when you fulfill your role, give the fire team incentive for each player to take on a different role. With that in mind, they gave these exotics their own unique mod socket and mods. They actually show us these three mods in that TWAB. The first of them being Sect of Force. The first perk on that mod is rapid precision hits with a weapon, temporarily increase your reload speed and weapon swap speed. Second perk is when you stun a champion or defeat a boss slash mini boss, your nearby fire team members gain a burst of grenade and melee energy. Aeon cult allies who do not have the Sect of Force role equipped also gain a burst of super energy. The second mod is Sect of Insight. First perk, successive precision weapon takedowns have a chance to drop an orb of power for your allies. The second perk is when you use a finisher on an elite, you generate special ammo for your fire team. When you use a finisher on a boss or mini boss, you generate heavy ammo for your fire team. Nearby Aeon cult allies who do not have the Sect of Insight role equipped also gain a bonus to weapon damage for a short time. The third mod is Sect of Vigor. First perk being gain class ability energy as your allies die, gain full class ability energy when you resurrect an ally. The second perk is when you cast your super, nearby allies gain an instant burst of healing, and cult allies who do not have the Sect of Vigor role equipped also gain an overshield. Each of these mods have a perk that focuses on the user, a perk that focuses on allies, and a third perk that focuses on the allies that don't have that role equipped. So, for maximum efficiency in a three-player fire team, each person should be using a different mod so they can reap the most benefits. In the past, these anexotics have not been very good. So I'm excited for one to see them get a buff, but I'm also excited to kind of see this new mechanic in action. Something different, and I don't really know how it's going to play out, but I'm hoping it does work really well in that three-player fire team. Moving on, when they sent all those destinations and activities to the content vault, it also made a decent amount of catalyst unattainable. Well, those are returning in season 13. We have Bad Juju, Izanagi's Burden, Sleeper Stimulant, the Huckleberry, World Line Zero, Polaris Lance, Telesto, Legend of Acreus, and Sky's Burner's Oath. Now, Whisper the Worm and Outbreak Perfected are still going to be unattainable, but they will be added in a future update. And with that, that wraps up that final TWAB before the new season. Bungie did release another news article that kind of goes over the story, activities, strikes, exotics, and gear in the season pass for season 13 or season of the Chosen. I do want to go over a couple things in there as well. First up in that article, we have the helm. or hub for emergency logistics and maneuvers. It is designed as the ultimate vanguard staging ground. The spaceport provides the resources Guardians need to face the most powerful of incursions. Here, the war table has been set. Meet with Zavala, acquire the Hammer of Proving, and orchestrate an honorable victory. Now, it's unsure if this is going to be part of the new tower, like everyone speculates, or if it's just going to be a separate location that we go to. Not much is really known at this point. After that, we have the new activity Battlegrounds. The fallout from the failed treaty has resulted in Cabal forces taking up arms on multiple destinations, prepared to defend the glory of the Empire. In this three-player match-made activity, Guardians will engage in ritual combat against Keitel's chosen warriors. This also seems to be where you will acquire that new Seasonal 13 armor, as you can see here. Now, it's unsure yet, but I believe that there's going to be three destinations that you'll be able to partake in Battlegrounds. At least that's what is listed on the roadmap for Season 13. Moving on, we have three new strikes coming. Two of these are reissued from Destiny 1, which is Devil's Lair and Fallen Saber. And the third one is new, called Proving Grounds, which is detailed as the champions of humanity face the champions of the Cabal to determine the fate of the last city. Next up, we have the new exotic for the season pass. This is an exotic bow called Tiku's Divination. This ancient recurve bow charges multiple solar arrows that can track several targets at once. In the next clip here, you can see the arrows actually flying to the right and then all of a sudden changing direction to go towards that champion. Now, I've never been much of a bow user, but I have to be honest and say that I have a feeling I'm going to be using this one quite a bit in the Season of the Chosen. Lastly, we have the seasonal artifact, Bell of Conquest. Used to celebrate the triumphs of the warrior who carries it, the Bell of Conquest increases your power every time it's upgraded. Unlock new seasonal mods and customize your playstyle. We don't know what those mods are going to be yet until the season releases, and I will probably do a guide on that when it does come out on Tuesday. And that is everything coming in Season 13 that we know about from Bungie's TWABs and updates leading up to February 9th. Whew, that was a lot of information, so I will stop talking and continue the trailer for Season of the Chosen where I cut it off earlier. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Say hi, what you'd like to see next, or even constructive criticism. All of it is appreciated, and I'd love your help to reach my goal of 1K subscribers. Until next time, take care.
Empress Keitel has emerged as the new face of their empire and demanded I pledge loyalty to her.
This tank is like a living thing. She breathes, she moves, and she will spit out your bones. Sharpen my gilded knife and see you both on the battlefield. There's no light here.